Anambra State Government sets up Standard and Modernization Committee to promote quality service delivery. Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association debunks media reports on threats to sack Southeast. Nigeria Labour Congress tasked federal government on insecurity and unemployment. More than 2,000 cases of Ebola reported in Democratic Republic of Congo. Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Opopasile. A Standard and Modernization Committee has been set up and put in motion by the Anambra State Government. This is part of the outcome of a Standard and Modernization workshop organized by the state government at the Aglo Lake Golden Tulip Hotel, aimed at ensuring strict compliance to standards by government workers as well as the larger society. Correspondent Ejika Abana reports that the committee is chaired by a consultant to Anambra State Government on Standard and Modernization, Mr. Twinkle Oruwariye, while Mr. Mike Obuekwe, who is the Director General of Project Management and Monitoring Office of the Governor, is serving as his secretary. Report.
Members of the committee include the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Primus Odele, Commissioner for Environment, Architect Mike Okonkwo, Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs, Indigenous Artwork, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Salim Banefo, Commissioner for Women's and Children's Affairs, Lady Ndidi Mezwe, and two others. Mr. Uruwariye stressed that the major objective of the workshop is to change the mindset of government workers towards identifying, creating, and maintaining standards.
Determination plus willpower. We need willpower. So we must be determined, we must be serious, and we must be focused. Then we will be successful in whatever we do.
On how they intend to ensure that compliance to standards go beyond government ministries, departments, and agencies to the larger society, the secretary of the committee, Mr. Obuekwe, disclosed that the exercise will commence with enforcement of the monthly sanitation exercise, where people would be encouraged to stay home and clean their environment, as well as take waste to designated disposal and collection points, while sanitary inspectors and others will engage their responsibilities with renewed vigor.
The PMMO office was created by the governor to see the implementation of what we call the Willis deliverology. What it is that when the governor says, I want this done, somebody's responsibility should be to see, to monitor that thing that the governor has said is done and report back to the governor.
The head of service, Barrister Harry Odo, in his remarks said, following the outcome of the workshop, all ministries, departments, and agencies will create standards and modernization subcommittees, and disclosed that names have already been selected and submitted to the policy-making organ of government.
The important thing is for us to go back to where you started, the mindset. Once we put this in the front burner, everybody will be a check on the other. These other aspects that are institutional will be taken care of.
Some participants who spoke to the ABS, including the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Solochukwulobelo, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Political Matters, Chief Ifeatu Obiokoye, Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. James Eze, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Anambra Broadcasting Service, Chief Uche Nwora, as well as the Managing Director of Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, Venerable Amechi Ukwosa, said that the workshop has provided them with a collective opportunity to re-emphasize the core values of the present administration. The Commissioner for Basic Education, Professor Kate Omenoga, took participants through a special session on the Anambra State shared values, while different paper presentations on standards by the chairman of the Governor's Think Tank Committee, Mr. Mark Atasi, among others, featured at the workshop. From the Aglo Lake Golden Tulip Hotels in Anocha Council area, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province of the Niger, and the Anglican Bishop of Nnewi Diocese, Most Reverend Godwin Okpala, has called for immediate implementation of the new national minimum wage of 30,000 naira approved by the National Assembly and signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. He made the call while presenting his address to delegates attending the third session of the 8th Synod of the Anglican Diocese of Nnewi, holding at St. Thomas Church, Otolo, Nnewi. Correspondent Valentine Mbadowa reports.
Speaking on the theme of the Synod, rediscovery and harnessing the ministry of the laity for holistic and effective church growth in the Anglican Church, Bishop Ikako noted with regret the usurping of the duties of the laity by the clergy in some churches. According to him, the
Most Reverend Opala, who commended the federal government for approving the new minimum wage, expressed dissatisfaction with the seemingly delay in its implementation. The head of Anglican Church in Anambra State maintained that the call for the speedy implementation of the minimum wage has become necessary in order to alleviate the sufferings of the people. Most Reverend Opala, who also spoke on insecurity in the country, expressed concern that while the Fulani herdsmen are allowed to move freely with sophisticated weapons like the AK-47, the local vigilante has been disarmed by the police, calling for the needful to be done. Archbishop Opala used the opportunity to thank the people of Nnewi Diocese for the support to his 23 years of episcopacy, since the synod is the last he will preside before his retirement in September. The Archbishop, while reflecting on the theme of the synod, steadfastness in God's service, called on Christians to be alive unto God's service, as any labor in the Lord is not in vain.
This day was a call on Christians to take a firm stand in the face of economic and political instabilities of our time. It was a challenge to Christians to display their spiritual resilience and uncheckered rigidity at the sight of odious provocations and persecutions.
In their separate remarks, the Anglican Bishop of Awka Diocese, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim, and his Agwata counterpart, Right Reverend Samuel Ezofo, congratulated Archbishop Opala on his forthcoming retirement, noting that his commitment to the work of God is second to none. They prayed for a befitting successor who will continue in his selfless service as a minister of God.
It is important that after laboring in the vineyard of the Lord, your ministry doesn't end here. The ministry must be heavenly minded. It has to end somewhere.
Our prayer is that God has kept him in good health all these years, and he will continue to keep him in good health, himself, his wife, and the family, so that he will see the fruit of his labor.
Others who spoke at the event were the Chancellor of the Diocese, retired Justice Eugene Ubezono, the Clerical Synod Secretary of Nnewi Diocese, Venerable Roland Obikobe, a member of the Diocesan Council of Laity, Sir Humphrey Ngonade, called on Christians to avoid corrupt practices to enthrone a peaceful society. The Synod was attended by over 18 bishops, as well as the former Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province of the Niger, Most Reverend Christian F.O.B. From Nnewi, Valentine Mbadowa, ABS News.
And still with stories from the church, the Anglican Bishop of Diocese of Amaechi, Right Reverend Ephraim Ikako, says the diocese has recorded tremendous development and growth through robust evangelism. The Bishop Ikako stated this at Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Amaechi, in the Nnewi South local government area during a press conference on facility inspection as part of activities marking the second session of the Fourth Synod of the Diocese. Njide Kokoe, Father's Report.
On the theme of the Synod, rediscovery and harnessing the ministry of the laity for holistic and effective church growth in the Anglican Church, Bishop Ikako noted with regret the usurping of the duties of the laity by the clergy in some churches. According to him, the lay people are the church growers, while the clergy are the church administrators. He added that the synod, which has commenced, will end on Sunday, 9th June 2019 at the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Amaechi, while he will present his presidential charge on Saturday, 10th of this month. The grand finale of the synod comes on Sunday with synod Thanksgiving service. Bishop Ikako added that the synod will address the laity clergy issues and encourage the laity to do more church work as a way of rediscovering and harnessing their ministry. The Anglican prelates noted that their promise at inception to propagate the gospel in 4 dimensions, including holistic evangelism, has been pushed through education, robust health care, agriculture, and social services and welfare packages. He raised alarm over what he called the rising debt profile of Nigeria.
We really need to re-strategize. If we need democracy, we must touch our constitution. The Constitution of Nigeria is highly deficient to run a democratic government.
Clergymen and other members of the diocese were present at the event. From the Cathedral Church of St. Andrew, Amici, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
The Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in the Southeast Geopolitical Zone has debunked the rumor trending on the social media which alleged that the group said that the Southeast will boil any moment from now due to their stubbornness. The chairman of the association, Alhaji Gidado Siddiqui, debunked the rumor while speaking to journalists shortly after performing the Eid al-Fitr celebration in Oka. Correspondent Ejika Bana reports.
It would be recalled that a popular social media platform some days ago published the said statement in Abuja against the leadership of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. Alhaji Siddiqui, who stressed that the leadership of Mieti Allah is in good terms with Southeast governors and its people appreciated governors of the Southeast states for accommodating them, adding that a working relationship exists among them. While describing the publication as mischievous, malicious, and misleading, he said that he is the Southeast chairman and not the leader of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, as quoted in the said publication. Expressing optimism that the relationship existing between the governors of the Southeast and cattle breeders in the region will become better, Alhaji Siddiqui pledged their continued efforts towards greater harmonious environment for enhanced economic activities.
The Southeast Zone of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, and her cattle headers members, whom I serve as regional chairman, enjoy warm relationship with the governors. I wish to thank the governors of the Southeast states of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo for their wonderful sense of accommodation as I pledge our continued efforts towards greater harmonious environment for thriving economic activities and better life.
In Oka, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Every community in Igbo land has 1, 2, or 3 marketplaces named after the 4 Igbo market days. It is either Eke, Oye, Afo, or Nkwo. While some of these marketplaces in the communities are as old as the communities themselves, others are later-day markets. One outstanding thing is that not all the markets are prominent. Blessing Ijedibia unveils a major feature of Ekuke Market in the Idemili North local government area in this report.
Ekuke is a household name when it comes to hinterland markets in the Idemili axis of Anambra State. In the days of old, if you want to buy dog of any size, color, shape, or age, it was at Ekuke. The market became so popular and synonymous with dogs that people even began to refer to local dogs as Ekuke. All that are now in the past, as the market has yet taken up its popularity in yet another livestock known as dwarf goat. A visit to Ekuke market reveals just by the entrance a section where African dwarf goats and rams of different breeds are sold. The livestock ranges from the young ones that are mainly for rearing to the big and mature ones. A seller, Mrs. Isioma Chikeze, said the ones for rearing cost between 6,000 to 8,000 naira, while the mature big ones sell at the rate of 15,000 to 30,000 naira. Others in the goat market, including Mr. Peter Orakute and Mr. Obiajulu, said the Ekuke goat market is a perfect place for buying and selling.
From the Idemili local government, some go to the north to buy and bring here. Some of the goats come from this town.
Blessing Ijedibia, ABS News.
So certainly if you want to get a goat, a dwarf goat, Ekuke is the place to go. Now we move now. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has repeated its call on the federal government to address the rising incidence of insecurity, unemployment, poverty, instability, and renewed separatist agitations in the country. NLC President Comrade Ayuba Waba, in his Eid al-Fitr message, advised the government to rededicate itself in its service to the nation, especially on the issues of insecurity, stability, economy, justice, and confidence building. He similarly urged Nigerians, in spite of the overwhelming challenges in the polity, to continue to have faith in their country and to do all that is necessary to safeguard and promote its sovereignty, integrity, and prosperity. The federal government's effort to plug over 2 trillion naira annual revenue leakages and improve the revenue base of the country crystallized recently when the past Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, received the full business case certificate of compliance for the import duty exemption certificate IDEC project from the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission ICRC. The non-implementation of the project, the former minister noted, caused a revenue loss of 2.25 trillion naira in 2017 and 2.1 trillion naira in 2018 to abuses and manual way of getting IDEC. The COC was presented to her by the Director General of ICRC, Mr. Chidi Izuwa, in Abuja, while commending ICRC boss for expediting action on the project. Ahmed noted that the development has been her utmost desire and as such, soothing to see it come to fruition. While calling for the full implementation of the project, she noted that the ministry will ultimately secure the approval of the Federal Executive Council before the Public-Private Partnership PPP of the project has taken off. More than 2,000 cases of Ebola have been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo in the last 10 months, officials have said. 2/3 of the cases have been fatal, the health ministry added. The outbreak in the east of DR Congo is the second biggest in the history, with a significant spike in new cases noted in recent weeks. But health workers' attempts to contain the outbreak has been hindered by mistrust and violence. Despite the fact that more than 1,300 people have died of the disease since August, the charity Oxfam says its team are meeting people every single day who still don't believe the virus exists. Others don't trust the health workers, which leads people with symptoms to avoid treatment, thus making it harder to stop the virus spreading. Currently, it is contained within 2 provinces, but it is becoming harder to monitor the spread of the virus because of the violence in the country's eastern region. Barcelona forward Asishat Oshoala says she is not under any pressure ahead of the Nigeria's 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup opener against Norway on June 8. The former Arsenal and Liverpool striker did not make an impact that fans are used to seeing at the 2018 AWCON, scoring 2 goals, all coming in the 6-0 rout of Equatorial Guinea, and did not win an individual accolade at the end of the tourney in Ghana. Oshoala impressed in the second half of the last season at Barcelona, and the Spanish side has turned the loan into a permanent deal after netting 8 goals in 11 competitive matches. The Super Falcons have departed the Avita resort in Bad Tanzabadov in Austria, where they were on a 2-week residential campaign and landed in Rennes, venue of the World Cup opener against Norway. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points again. The Anambra State government has set up Standard and Modernization Committee to promote quality service delivery. Mieti Ala Cattle Breeders Association has debunked media reports on threats to attack Southeast. Nigeria Labour Congress has tasked federal government on insecurity and unemployment. And more than 2,000 cases of Ebola have been reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And that is the news this time. I am David Okwasile. Thank you for joining us this morning as Good Morning Anambra takes over from now.